Let's, let's do it, do it, do it. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Welcome back to REI Decoded, or welcome if this is your first time. We are super eager and super excited to have you. My name is Ashley Denmark. What is your name? You just a smiling. What is your name? This is Antonia Denmark. We are the Denmarks. We are your coaches. We are your guides when it comes to getting started, investing in real estate, and getting off the sideline. We have done this a numerous of ways. All right, we got scarves, we got some t-shirts, we got a hat, we got everything there is to have when it comes to figuring it out, trying to do it, putting some actionable steps and plans together, um, just to make it easier. We want you to learn from our mistakes. We want you to learn from our wins, and we want to take you off the sidelines and into the game. All right. If you are watching this live, make sure you put hashtag live in the chats. If you are watching this on replay, put hashtag replay in the chat. And let's get started. All right. Who's on with me today?
Let's get it started.
Let's get it started. Today we are gonna as you guys type in your names in the chat so I know who's here. Today we are gonna talk about something that has really helped us in our real estate business, and it started all in 2016. This phase started around 2016, being able to help us to go from doing a few deals in 10 years to really being that leverage, being that threshold that took us to doing multiple deals at a
I
time.
feel like you just undervalued my deals that I did before we started doing it this way.
I did. How y'all doing today?
But we had 12 properties before we started even.
I said,
You said a
scaling
few.
it.
12 is not a few, y'all.
What's up, Karen?
What would be a good word for 12? You got 12 properties. What would you consider that?
You got a handful.
That's not a few.
You got a handful.
A few is handful. One or two.
Just sprinkle a little handful.
What would y'all classify 12
What's
properties
up, Candace? Hey, beautiful. What's up, Amy? Hey, Stanley.
Anyone answer my question yet? Because 12 is not a few properties.
They're not fooling with you and your foolishness. Hey, Kelvin.
All right.
Everybody knows that you're with the foolishness. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. How's your day going?
Very bad.
Overstatement.
Horrible. Which one do you want?
That it was doing pretty good. What's up, Kelvin?
It's not doing good.
It's not doing good.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Well, apparently we didn't have the same day. My day's fairly okay. Had some challenges this morning that we worked through.
So I'm gonna tell you what, my day not going good.
Okay.
I woke up this morning, ran to look at a house to find out the house wasn't even available no more. Got me into the house and everything.
Y'all.
Then he called me and told me, oh, somebody got a contract. So that started the day.
Y'all, when I tell you Antonio was excited, he was like, oh, this is nice. This is the one. This is a good one. And
then I gotta tell you, we had to have a tough meeting with my girl, which was tough on me and us and her. But it was a conversation that needed to be had, some understanding that had to be had. So a part of doing this is having tough conversations. I don't like confrontation, no way, no how, but I understand that it's possible. And then we found out
we didn't want to know your
whole budget item on some electrical. We got to spend $500 on breakers that we did not budget for. So my day is not going good, but I'm still here and ready to go.
And so look, no one said real estate is easy. Let me say that real estate is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. But let me say this: real estate is the most rewarding. It is the only avenue that consistently makes millionaires, that consistently produces large incomes and large nets. All right. And when I say persistently, but I really mean consistently, it does it. Because other things are going to be maybe here and there, but real estate is far the number one way to build wealth and to build your income simultaneously.
Let's get into the training.
Today, we are going to talk about how you can literally start getting funding. Even if you don't have a business, you can get business funding and use that business funding to start building your wealth, building your assets. All right. If you guys are interested in learning how you can start building wealth without a business, type me in the chat.
You mean with a business?
Without having a business, type me in the chat.
I can build it without having a business. What's up, Amy?
Hey, Noel. Okay, I see you, Mies.
Building.
Okay. All right. You ready to jump into it, Tonya?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. So I'm adding it to the stage, y'all. It was a little. Today we're going to talk about how you can get business funding without having a business. What does that look like? And starting off with it, most people are like, there's no way that I can do it. All right,
I got to say this before I forget. Can you take it back off the screen?
No.
All right. So for my people who's watching this presentation and you are saying this doesn't pertain to me, I can't do these things are not in my warehouse. All right. I need you to change that mindset. All right. When we are talking about strategies, the strategies does not just have to pertain to you. The thing about acquiring skills and techniques is being able to communicate with other people who have these attributes, who have these skills, who have these things that can make this stuff work. When we started doing this, we didn't do this on ourselves. We used this method on someone else and they got the funding and we partnered with them. So just because you might not have the qualifications right now, that doesn't mean you can't take this information and apply it.
Absolutely. That was good, Tonya. I didn't know where you were going with that.
You gotta trust me, bro.
I didn't know where you were going with it. You went on a tangent earlier, so I don't know where you were going with that. But absolutely. So when you are on these trainings, I want you guys to look at it from multiple perspectives. All right. Look at it from, is this me? Or do I know somebody that may have these qualifications that we can partner up and do things together? All right. So let's talk about getting funding without having a business. The first thing you want to do is get an aged LLC. All right. What an aged LLC is, it is a corporation that, let me do it so y'all can see me. It is a corporation that has already been in business, that is in good standings, that has history. The financial doesn't matter. You want to make sure it's in good standings, y'all. I know you saw the go live. See you later. We live.
That man can't read that.
Yes, he can. He read everything else.
That's how 5-year-old.
Yep. But getting an age business, a seasoned business that is already in good standings that you can use, and it becomes your business.
Does that business have to be producing income?
No. It can be sitting on the shelf and just calculating age while it's sitting on the shelf.
Does that business have to have a P&L statement?
No.
All right. Now that business does have to be in good standing with the state that it was formed.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that it's got to file taxes, but understand that it doesn't have to be a LLC that got money flowing through it.
Absolutely. Right? So once you get that age LLC, then it's go time. All right. It's go time because you want to then start opening up bank accounts, not personal bank accounts. All right. You want to open up business checking accounts. All right. And those business checking accounts are going to be for companies or with companies that you want to get business funding from. All right. So you're going to open up your business checking accounts, put some money in the business. All right. Put some money in the checking account, because the lenders that you're going to apply to, the lenders that you are applying for business funding for, they want to know that you're not going to just use them and dump them. All right. They want to make sure that you are looking to have a relationship with them. They are interested in knowing that you are interested in building with them. All right. Nobody wants to be taken advantage of. The lenders don't want to be taken advantage of, just like you don't want to be taken advantage of. All right. So they want a relationship with you. They want to know you're serious about this. When you open up that business banking checking account, put a few dollars in there. You don't have to put a whole lot of money, but you want to put enough money to know that you're serious. All right. So don't put $25 in it.
Also, don't be afraid of fees, y'all. Like, don't let that stop you from opening up multiple bank accounts, because you trying to save $15, $20, $30 in fees, but we trying to get to $100,000 in credit over here.
That part.
So like, don't be simple minded and don't have a poor mindset because you're afraid to pay a couple of dollars in fees for opening up a checking account.
Mm-hmm. So put a few $100s in it. If you only got $100 to put in it, put $100 in it. All right.
They got money.
Yeah, but put some money in these checking accounts, because that's going to show the lender that you're serious, that you really want to do business with them, and that this is what you're trying to do. All right. Then once you got these checking accounts established, all right, tell me if y'all got that part first before I go to step 2. Let me know if they got it in the chat.
On step 3 now.
Step 3. Yeah, we're gonna buy an H corporation.
Step 1.
That's step 1. Next, we're gonna open up a checking account. That's step 2, right? You're gonna put some money in that checking account. That's still step 2. Y'all ready for step 3? Tell me if you're ready for step 3. I see you. Okay. So step 3, you're gonna start trying to open up lines of credit with that bank. All right. So you're going to ask them, do you have any lines of credit for business owners? All right. Do you have any credit cards for business owners? All right. They're going to tell you the products that they have available. And you're going to ask them, what are the qualifications for me to apply? And they're going to tell you, your business needs to be 2 years. We're not looking at your tax returns. We're not looking at your P&L. You want to get no doc loans. All right.
No doc credit cards.
No doc lines of credit or credit cards. That's what you want to get. And listen, the bank ain't going to tell you it's no doc. So you got to ask the right questions to be able to decipher, is this doc or no doc? Here's an example of doc. We're going to need to see your tax returns. That's doc. We're going to need to see your P&L statement. That's doc. All right. We're going to need to see your statements. That's doc. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, but I forgot it.
You acting like
secret. Understand that a lot of times when you open your business checking account, you get a soft pull on your credit. So a lot of times when the bankers are offering you certain products or are mentioning certain products to you, that's because they can do a soft pull when you open, and they got a good feeling of which products you would qualify for. Mm-hmm. All right. So just keep that in mind. They see it ahead of time. So that's why if you ever open an account and you're like, they're super friendly, they ask me, do I want to apply for this, or this? It's because they've seen a snapshot of your credit already.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and you want to apply for those. All right. Let me say this, because we get emotional sometimes if we get denials. All right. I understand that a denial makes you feel like you're less worthy, makes you feel like all this time you've been building up to this point and now you're a failure. That's not the case when it comes to business funding. All right. There are some banks that are going to absolutely love you, and there are some banks that's just not going to like you as much. All right. There's no big deal about it. If that bank doesn't like you as much, tell me what you're going to do in the chat. If that bank doesn't like you as much as another bank, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep going or are you going to quit? Put it in the chat. I'm going to keep going or I'm going to quit.
I like that.
What you going to do?
You
keep going or quit?
Training yesterday. Good job.
Seriously?
I'm just saying, because you had me lost, and I was like, that ain't what they taught us on the training. But you.
And be honest, like, Ash, I'm gonna keep going, or Ash, I'm gonna quit. What you gonna do?
To piggyback on what Ash is saying, we've had people come through with 800 credit scores and get denied.
And get denials,
all right. So a denial does not mean nobody's going to give me funding.
It does not mean you're not worthy. Like, you can still be worthy and get a denial. All right. You can get a denial from one bank. That's right. I see y'all. You can get a denial in one bank and then another bank blow it out of the water. All right. I had a friend and she was like, I'm ready to quit with doing business funding. Like, I done got these denials. I'm ready to quit. Now it's just not the right time because obviously I don't look good to these banks and I just want to quit. And literally when she was about to quit, a message came through that said she had just got $75,000 in business funding. It is in the moment, y'all, when you want to quit, that your blessing is about to come through. All right. So you literally have to keep going. I don't know how many times that I see it and they're like, this is not what I expected. This not, listen, life isn't what you expect it to be. Okay. So don't expect every I to dot. Don't expect every T to cross, but understand what your goal is and keep your eyes focused on the goal. All right. Keep your eyes focused on the goal. Keep going until you can't go anymore. All right.
Can we go to the next step?
You get ready to say something? Oh, it looked like you're about to say something.
I said it.
All right. So after we buy our Age Corporation, we open up our bank accounts, we start applying for those lines of credits and those credit cards. Now we got some business funding that we can work with. All right. And with that business funding, we're going to turn that credit into cash. We're going to turn that funding into cash. And that funding is going to be our source. It is going to be our drive to really start investing in real estate.
I see LaWanda on here. LaWanda got some business funding.
I see
LaWanda. Did you get a denial, LaWanda? Who? I'm not gonna say if you got a denial. The better question is who denied you. All right, let's go.
Because I feel like we remember the denials better than the approval.
Definitely.
Why is that? Why do we remember the things that that are negative more than we remember positive? Why does our brain even do that?
We need to go on the slide though.
No, I felt that. Like, I remember stuff like that. That's I do that a lot. All right. So can you do it without having an Age Corporation? Absolutely. All right. You can get funding without having a seasoned LLC. All right. And I'm going to use those words interchangeably today. So when you hear me say Age Corporation or you hear me say Age LLC or seasoned LLC, they are the same. All right.
And we are saying aged, AGED. All right. Mm-hmm. Age Corporation or aged LLC.
LaWanda says she got one from PNC. Absolutely. But you still kept going.
All right.
That's right. All right. So with a new entity, all right, you can set up a new entity literally in the next 30 minutes. All right. It is so easy to set up a new entity. When you set up a new entity, it's going to cost, if you do it yourself, it's going to cost you about $300. All right. If someone else does it, it can cost anywhere between $500 to $1,500. All right. Depending on who you have to do it, what their terms are, it may take a little bit more. All right. New LLCs with a really good, strong credit report can receive anywhere between $25,000 to $35,000 in funding. All right. Those are new LLCs. All right. I see you, Martine. Okay. So Martine said, how old is an Age Corporation? It can be from 1 year to 20 years. All right. It can be from 1 year to 20 years.
And I'm sure this is in there somewhere, but you asked a question. I'm going to go down that rabbit hole, which for most business funding banks, they like to see that the LLC is 2 years or older. That's kind of the threshold that opens up all the funding options to you. Mm-hmm. If it's 1 year, if it's 1 year old, then you have some options, but not a lot. Mm-hmm. After 2 years is where you get access to
more products
and more options when it comes to the business funding side of things. All right. So when we say Age Corporation, we're saying ideally 2 years and older, but can you buy one for 1 year? Yes.
Yeah. because basically they want to know, does your business have any history? Like, are you just about to start something and then let it go? They want to know that you've been in existence for a minute. They want to know that if I give you this money, they can trust you with this money. And the way that they feel like they can trust you with this money is if your business has been around for a longer amount of time versus it being spanking brand new. All right. But there are some banks where they have programs for brand new businesses and you can still get funding, even though you are brand new. All right. So let's talk about a 2-year. So a 2-year, I ain't talk about a 1 year. Let's talk about a 1 year. I'm so sorry, y'all. Let's talk about a 1-year age corporation. So you can purchase a 1-year age corporation. It's going to be anywhere between $3,500 and up. All right. If someone else does it, if you know someone or you have a seasoned age corp that you're not using or haven't used and you want to use it for funding, then you don't need to purchase a seasoned age corp. But if you don't and you need to, that price is going to be between $3,500 and up for 1 year. And then we've seen that people that fit the requirements when it comes to business funding, and we're going to talk about those at the end. So stay to the end so we can tell you what they're looking for. They usually receive between $50,000 to $80,000 in funding. All right.
I know sometimes we have LLCs and we let our LLCs, I'm gonna say, lapse to where we don't do our
certificate of good
standing. We don't really keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it is cheaper to go back and get that old LLC back activated and in good standing versus buying an age corp. All right, so that's one of the things I will also kind of tell you.
Highly recommend.
If you had a LLC back in the day and you just kind of let it go, you might come out cheaper going to get that LLC back activated than buying a age corporation.
So look at, and the whole purpose of these trainings is to be able to look at the resources that you have, look at them from a different perspective, and be able to execute on it. All right. So Martine said, we're speaking her language. Keep going. All right. I got you. For a 2-year age corporation. All right. You can purchase that. That's going to be anywhere between $6,000 and up. All right. I've seen people that want a 20-year age corporation because they wanted to get access to large capital. You can go from 1 year all the way to 30, 40 years. All right. When it comes to buying an age LLC.
Just know you're going the older the LLC, the more you're going to pay.
The more money you're going to spend. Absolutely. People who fit the qualifications, have a 2-year age corporation, I've seen them get $100K and more when it comes to funding.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and we'll talk about the qualifications, but just from my recommendations, if you don't have most, if not all of the data points for funding, then I wouldn't recommend you buying a 2-year age corporation. The only way that I recommend somebody buying a 2-year age corporation is if they don't have an LLC, but they have the data points needed. Because if you're saying, hey, it's going to take me $6,000 and I got to invest $6,000 to go get $100,000+.
What would you say? Do you feel like that's a no-brainer, or I'm scared? I got to invest $6,000 to potentially get $100,000. Is that a no-brainer, or no? I'm still scared. Tell me in the chat. And it's okay to say, no, I'm still scared. Okay.
Well, I don't know.
Martine said, maybe I should sell a few LLCs. That's definitely an opportunity.
That's why you a coach, because it's the mindset.
That's definitely an opportunity.
Definitely. And if you want to sell a few, let me know. I got some clients. All right. The reason why we love business funding is, for one, it doesn't report to your personal credit. The right business funding doesn't report to your personal credit.
Absolutely.
Not all business funding. So I don't want you to get that misperception that The Demart said if it's business funding, it ain't going to personal. No,
Yeah,
that's not
because
true.
there are some business cards that will report to your personal credit. So it is important to research the right ones so that you don't get mixed up and have one that it reports to your personal credit.
Don't ask us
Ask
how
us
we
how
know.
we know. Yep, that's a scar. Um, yeah, I said no brainer, no brainer. Absolutely, absolutely. The other reason why we like business funding is because it allows you to get started without having to use your personal savings, your personal funds. Like most of us didn't have a rich auntie, rich uncle, parents that just left us a legacy and left us with money. All right. We're trying to figure out how do we get started, how we get off the sideline, what is the least um what is the least financial risk that we have to take in order to do it. And business funding is that way that gets you off the sideline. It takes a long time for someone to save 20, 30, 40,000 to start investing in real estate. But if you can spend 60,000 and get up to 100,000 or even 6,000 and get up to 100,000 or more, now it's a lot easier to get to getting started investing in real estate and getting to that 20 because you got help. So your time has shortened because of it. All
and
right.
your risk level is lower because even if you got money in the bank, I don't recommend you using that money. If you got money in the bank, let's use that money for a backup plan. It's a rainy day. Let's use that money to invest in some systems or something like that. Like, even if you got the money to invest, if credit is an option, I'm gonna always take that credit because I have a security blanket sitting back in my cash.
Mm-hmm.
But if I put, and this is key, y'all, if you have cash, all right, if you use that cash to do a deal and you get into a sticky situation,
you have no cash to get you out.
it's hard to go and get the funding at that point.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
you gonna let me finish
Yeah.
my thought?
You're right about that. Yeah.
So understand, it's a whole lot easier to go and get business funding when you have money in the bank and you comfortable versus when you are in a deal and you stuck. Now you're trying to go get funding. It's usually harder. It's so much easier to do it in the reverse direction. That way you got cash and you got credit. Now you can do this. And let's just say you do a deal with business funding and you don't make no money. For one, your money was never at risk.
That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's so much less risk when you use business funding.
Yeah. And then you can really understand what your returns are going to be because you know what your interest rate is, you know what your monthly payments are going to be. And if you do that right and you reverse engineer it, you know exactly what your returns are going to be. But let's just say you made $20,000 off of business funding doing a deal and you never had to use your own money. Is that a deal or no deal? Type it in chat. Is that a deal or no deal? You use business funding. You didn't use your cash, but you would have preferred to probably make 40, 50, but you made 20,000. Is that a deal or no deal?
I think that's a big gap.
Let's see. Is that a deal or no deal? I'll see y'all. Okay. Absolutely. Because you never had to use your own funds. Like your return at that point becomes infinite. It becomes ridiculous because you're not using your savings. You're not using your cash. All right. That's all right. Infinite. It's a deal.
So one thing that I will say is that we use this strategy and we teach y'all this strategy to get started. But when we use this strategy to scale.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use it to get started, but understand if you put the right pieces in place with this funding, this business funding, and you use it the right way, you can go from no deals 1 year to 5 deals the next year.
Mm-hmm.
If you structure it right.
Mm-hmm.
We went from doing like I was talking about 12 properties. We had 12 properties in a 6-year
Your
window.
span, yeah.
All right. But when we started using business funding, we did 10 properties that next year.
And every year after, at minimum, like 10 became the minimum. At one point, it was 2 a year that was the minimum. Like it was just 2 a year. But when we learn how to scale, when we learn how to use that business funding to help us put systems, people in place, and be able to do multiple at a time, it became different. And just to touch on what you said, I meet with a lot of friends, and some of the questions that I ask them is like, what do you wish you would have did differently from the beginning? And most of them say, I wish I would have got started quicker, and I wish I would have scaled quicker. That's usually what my friends say. I wish I would have got started quicker, and I wish I would have scaled quicker. So understand that the longer you take analyzing, the longer you take playing double dutch, trying to figure out, okay, is this the right time? You could have been in, you could have scaled, and you can literally be literally building that generational wealth that you say you want to build, but you got to start. All right. Don't get to the point where you're processing so much information and you're still not starting. All right. Let's talk about some of these data points. Y'all ready to talk about data points? Nope, you didn't miss data points yet.
No, we didn't talk about data points yet.
All right, let's talk about some data points. So we're gonna go straight into business, and then we'll do personal.
No, you can't do that.
Nope.
All right, there's a reason that the person who made this presentation did personal, then business. All right, but I don't know who the hell made it, but
I made it. That's why I'm trying to go the other way and work my way back.
Give me 2 minutes about personal.
Okay, go ahead.
So she's gonna talk about business, but understand if you don't have the profile to do business, there's nothing wrong with doing a round of personal funding. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm not a huge fan of doing personal funding and using credit cards to invest. If I'm going to use personal funding to invest, I'm going to get a loan, a personal loan or something of that nature. But understand, it's a building block. You can do personal credit first, then come back and do business funding. Mm-hmm. It's a process. All right. Mm-hmm. So go on business.
So yeah, and just it's definitely a process. When we first started investing in real estate, we started from a personal side because we didn't know much about the business side, and we worked our way through business. Well, from personal to business side. If you have a 680 or higher credit score, 0 collections, 0 late payments, 10 or more primary accounts, about 4 to 5 years of credit age, less than 4 inquiries per bureau. You want to make sure your utilization is under 20%
for your revolving credit.
For revolving credit, yep. And then you want to make sure that you have a minimum of 2 personal credit cards with $5,000 limit each. All right.
All right. So
we're gonna break it down, but I wanted to go through it. Tap on.
Well, I'm gonna go backwards. I want to tap on the 5K.
Okay.
All right. The reason that having 2 credit cards for at least 5K is important is because when banks are giving out credit, they don't want to be the first ones to give you big credit lines. Mm-hmm. They want to either match what somebody else has given you or go a step above. Mm-hmm. So understand that if you have 2 5K credit lines or credit cards and you go apply, more than likely you're going to get a 5K or 10K.
10. Yeah.
You're going to be in that range. All right. If you already have a 10K, you're going to be 10 to 25. Mm-hmm. All right. If you got some 15 and 20Ks already,
now you're looking at 50, 75, possibly even 100 coming out the door.
So that's why it's important on the data points to have some high limit personal cards already before going for business funding.
Right. And then for utilization, no lender wants to be the person that is trying to help someone survive. Like if they feel like you need this, then they're not going to give you the funding. And the way that they feel like you need it is if your utilization is over 20%. All right. They want to make sure that this business funding is just to enhance what you're already doing and not that it's a need. So you want to keep your utilization as low as possible, because that's what's going to help them say, okay, yep, they can get funding. Yep, I'm gonna give them 50K. Yep, I'm gonna give them 75K. But if they feel like you need it, it's really hard to convince them that it's hard to convince them otherwise. All right.
All right. The other thing I want to say about utilization is understand there's a difference between revolving utilization and installment utilization.
Mm-hmm.
When we say 20%, we're not talking about your installments. All right. Antonio, what's installments? Installments are student loans, car loans, house loans, personal loans.
Anything that you pay, and when you pay it off, you don't get access to the money again, that's an installment.
All right. So we're not counting that utilization, because when you get a car loan for $50,000, your utilization will be at 100%.
Mm-hmm.
We're not counting that. All right. We are counting revolving things that are on your credit. All right. So that's key to understand, because sometimes you can look at your credit report and it'll tell you that you have 50% utilization, but they're including installments in that. All right. So you got to be able to look at it, and if it's an installment, take it out of your utilization and only look at the revolving part.
Absolutely. All right. When it comes to inquiries, those are 4 inquiries per bureau. All right. So meaning you need to have less than 4 on Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. All right. It is important when you are going through funding, when you are doing funding, it is important to make sure that you're not putting so much on one than the other. All right. You want to evenly distribute your inquiries as you're going through them, so that it's not heavily on one versus the other. All right. Because you don't want the lenders to know that you are getting multiple different funding sources. All right. You want them to feel like you are the only one that you are building this relationship with, not that you're building it with Antonio, Mike, and everybody else. All right. You want them to feel like they're the only guy. All right.
I'm gonna say this before you go too much farther with your inappropriate conversations. This is to get maximum funding. All right.
Yes.
If you are slacking or you're lagging in one of these 2 or 3 areas, that doesn't mean you won't get business funding.
Right.
All right. That just means you won't get the maximum amount of business funding.
Yeah.
All right. So if you got 8 accounts, that doesn't mean you can't get business funding. If you have only 5,000, that don't mean you won't get business funding. That just means that you won't get the maximum amount of business funding. All right. These are the things that you get the max. If you need to work on a couple of them, you can work on a couple of them and still get some funding.
Absolutely. All right. And then when it comes to age, just the more accounts you have that are not brand new, the more age you have. All right. The more brand new accounts, the least amount of age you have, because the age is calculated based on the average of all your accounts. All right. So you just got all these brand new accounts and you're trying to go through business funding, your age may not be 4.5 years. All right. It'll probably be 1 year. So you want to make sure that you have pretty good age and history on your account, so that it's not like, just like they don't want a brand new entity, they don't want a brand new business owner who don't have any age and haven't been out here doing deals, managing their credit for a significant amount of time. All right. Anything else you want to add?
One thing, payments, no collections. That just helps you maximize what you got going on. Like if you got a collection, that doesn't mean you can't go through funding. That just means you won't get to max. All right.
Yeah. So one thing that I am going to drop. All right. What I am going to drop, for those of you who want it, we're going to drop our secret lenders list. If you want our secret lenders list, put lenders list in the chat and let us know if you want the secret lenders list. What that secret lenders list does is it shows you what credit bureaus each lender is pulling from. All right. If you want the secret lenders list, put lenders list in the chat and we'll send it over to you. So that way you know what each creditor is pulling from. All right. I see you, Martine. All right, I see y'all. Lenders list, lenders list. If you don't have all of these things and you know that you really need this type of boost to be able, because you don't have 20, 30,000 sitting in the bank and you really need some funding to get off the sideline and get into the game, you can do what we like to call credit boosters. All right. Those credit boosters will boost up your score and will help you so that if you need more age, if you need more accounts, if you need to lower your utilization, that's what these credit boosters will do. All right, you want to talk about?
Yes. So let's say, hey, Mr. DeWalt, man, I only got 5 accounts. I don't got the 10 you was talking about. What I would recommend is we come here and we get 2, 3 of these accounts that will help add to our primary accounts. You might say, hey, Mr. DeMark, my utilization is a little high. What can I do? We might can get some credit boosters to offset your utilization. So understand that credit is a game, and you gotta understand the rules of the game to win the game.
Yeah.
All right. The biggest thing, the hardest thing to maneuver is late payments and collections.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Those are the hardest things to maneuver. All right. But almost everything else, you can make that credit look totally different in 30 days. If you don't got enough age, if you don't have $5,000 credit lines, if like those things can all be built up to where you can go for business funding.
Absolutely. What I love about these credit boosters, so make sure you guys take a screenshot of it. What I love about these credit boosters that we just listed is literally none of these add an inquiry to your account. All right. So you literally can add accounts, you can lower your utilization, you can increase your history all without getting an inquiry. All right. Most of the times, not knowing will cost you to get an inquiry. Now you got a new account that lowers your credit history, and now your score lowers. But if you do this, you use these credit boosters, they'll allow you to win on multiple fronts without getting an inquiry, without literally getting a brand new account that will hurt your credit score or hurt your age. All right. Anything else you want to add?
Mm-hmm.
So this young lady right here, she didn't have an LLC. She got a 2-year H corp. And after she got that 2-year H corp, she went for a round of funding. And we got her $96,600 in funding without having an LLC to begin with. Like, is that game changing? Like,
who this is? Tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's game changing. Like it literally from a $6,000 investment and being able to make 90,000 from a six.
But that wasn't her final number though.
It's the final, a total. That's the total.
Okay.
That was the total. Literally game changing. Like that changes how you look at deals. That changes how you jump into the game. That changes when you jump into the game. And let me say this, you can spin your wheels, you can figure it out, you can say, I'm gonna do it, and it take you a whole year, it take you a whole 2 years to do it. But how much missed opportunity do you miss in that delay? How much missed opportunity where you could have been building that portfolio, but you decided to take the long way, you decided not, like you gotta do it, all right? You might not do it right now, but you have to do it because if you don't do it, life happens, things happen, and that I should have wished I could have did it comes back when you just should have really did it.
Yep.
All right. Another client, this client actually had a corporation already. And after having that corporation, he had one that had been sitting for a minute. He got it back active and got 160,000 in funding. 160,000 in funding, y'all. He could have just saved his 20,000. How much can you do with 160,000 in funding?
You said game changing, nigga. That's life changing.
That is life changing.
To have 160.
That is life changing. That is life changing. And let me say this. Does that mean you need to use it all at one time? No. But that does mean that you have options. That does mean that you now can become the lender and not the borrower. You can fund deals along with doing your own deals. So now you're making in your money. Now you're making in your money sleep
In your
in
money
your sleep
sleep.
money coffee. Now you're making in your sleep money.
Of money that was never even yours.
Never even yours to begin with. All right.
That more than 3 properties, Mr. Stanley. If you do it right, that about 4, 5 good ones there, man. For real, for real.
This could literally change your portfolio. This can literally change. Kelvin said, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. I've been getting it piece by piece. Y'all have streamlined the entire process. Listen, that's what we're here for. Okay.
That's it right there.
That's why we do this. So that you're not putting piece by piece by piece together and you're actually pulling the trigger. You're actually doing it so that you can get in. You can't win in the game you're not in. You can't win on the sideline. The only way you're going to win is if you're in the game. All right. I got you, Martine. I got you. All right. One more student. This was actually the student that was ready to quit. All right. She was like, I'm done. I'm just done. Like, I keep getting these denials. You telling me to stick in there, but these denials don't feel good. They don't sit good with me. And then they started rolling in. She ended the process with $132,000 in funding. Now I'm gonna say this.
And she's going crazy right now.
In a good way.
She's going crazy
in a
right
good
now.
way. She's lent on a deal. She has 2 rehabs going, and she's about to lend on another deal. Constantly analyzing properties, constantly doing what she needs to do. All right. Let me say this. These results are not typical. All right. It takes following the plan. It takes not messing up your credit while you're in the process. It takes having patience. It takes being uncomfortable, because y'all know we don't like to be uncomfortable. Because when we uncomfortable, that's when we quit. It takes being uncomfortable. All right. Because otherwise you will never get there. All right. So you got to be uncomfortable sometimes, but you got to understand and remember, what is my goal? What am I really trying to do? Am I really trying to build wealth for my family? Am I really trying to leave a legacy behind? Because a person who's truly trying to leave a legacy behind, is it going to start next year? Is it going to start in 100 days? Is it going to start when they figure it out? You got to take action. All right. You got to take action. However you take action, you got to do it. Did y'all learn a lot today? If y'all learned a lot, say I learned a lot. Say I learned a lot.
Say I learned a lot.
Keep it simple. If you learned a lot today, say I learned a lot.
Say I learned a lot in the chat.
Yeah.
Questions. Let's get some questions, man. We can take 2 or 3 questions.
Type it in. I would love
if any part of this didn't quite stick with you. If one thing that we didn't say is there is another way to do business funding. You can do a paydex score and a NAV and all those things.
You can build it.
You can build it, but that's kind of the long and slow way. When we do it this way, this is quick, precise, be done with it. Now the difference is you are personal guaranteeing the credit, even if it's in the business name, compared to if you take the long way. Mm-hmm. But you can do it the quick way and build the long way at the same time. So understand, don't limit yourself in your mindset and your thinking to say, I only got to do it one way.
I just want to add on to it because it just came to my head and I'm going to forget it if I don't say it. And y'all, if y'all got several businesses, you don't have to do it with just one entity. You can do it with multiple entities. So say I got 100,000 in ABC 123 LLC, and then I got another 100,000 in Need More Shares. Like literally, you can do it in multiple entities, and what does like that just changes things. You can do it with like you don't have to stop. Like you,
So I'm go.
you gonna what? Because you just lost me.
I got it. Okay. I lost you. Or you can go? Which one is
go? You gonna what?
Sure?
Yes, I'm gonna come back.
So just like a quick example, when we say we started this with someone else, our first client for business funding, they went and got $40,000 in funding. And they got 40 because they said that was too much, and they thought
they said this is a lot.
This is a lot. But what we did was we took that $40,000, and when he got the money, he basically partnered with us, and he invested the money with us, and we used his money to fund deal after deal after deal. All right. So when I say you don't got to be the one with the actual credit or the business, you can partner with the right people that have those tools and make money. He was making passive cash flow. We was building our portfolio. We had a win-win situation going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So understand that if you got somebody, bring them to these type of trainers. Like you probably can't tell them like we can tell them, but bring them to these type of events so they can hear us talk about it. They can know that
learn with
you're just not talking jibber jabber to
mm-hmm.
them. So they know that it's actual a real thing.
Absolutely.
So try to find somebody, start having money conversations, start being that person that when people see you coming, they know you're going to talk about.
You're going to talk about growth. You're going to talk about being better. You're going to talk about I don't want to just settle for anything anymore. I want to build my legacy. I want to build my wealth. I want freedom. I want time, my time back. We can't get our time back, y'all. I want my time back. All right. I see y'all said y'all learned a lot. I am so happy you guys learned a lot.
If you got questions or you want to have a quick 15-minute chat about your situation, man, I'll drop a link in the chat so that you can book a 15-minute call for free. Say, hey, this is where I am. This is what I'm trying to get to in this funding thing. If you got some personal questions you don't really want to ask here, you don't mind talking about it, y'all.
Absolutely. We love y'all.
If you want business funding or you want an Age Corporation, book a call. We can talk about that too.
We can talk about that as well. All right. Love y'all. See y'all next time. Peace.